last war of the season, going up against JA, and we can't really move up or down in the standings if we win or lose, so we're just kind of taking it easy. We're not stressing it. So I have a 20% war boost on, and then I use the lowest I could of the attack and health war boosts. I did not mean to push him into invisibility there. That was a mistake. So I just got to run away from him, and I take some brute force damage while he's coming out of it. But all in all, my plan for this fight was to just bait special ones. This fight was a lot less scary to me than a long shot would be here, and the AI for Hood I know is very, very special happy, so he likes to throw his special ones normally right after he gets them, and so I figured it would be a pretty standard fight. The AI likes to cooperate with Hood for some reason, so I'm just going to build in my special too. I'm going to drop it, and it's going to be done. And then next up, I have this Rhino on hazard shift. This ended up being a pretty long fight. I'm going to be taking it with anti-venom, and there's no real strategy, to be honest, other than push him into his corner. I mean, it's a Rhino. There's nothing really you have to worry about in his abilities other than the unblockable that he can get when he charges at you. So if you take that away from him, it's pretty easy. The one thing that was kind of annoying was the power efficiency, so it costs half the amount of power as normal for him to throw his specials, so he's just going to be throwing a lot of specials, and then I'm just going to build up to my special 3, drop that, and then I'm going to work back to my special 2, and I'm going to drop that, and just make sure that I keep him in his corner. And if I have to come out of it for any reason, just pay attention to the unblockable that he might proc when he comes charging at you. But other than that, there's really not much to say about this fight, so I'm just going to let the fight play out. So I'm moving into section 2 here. I have this Juggernaut on path 1, and the node is buffet, but because I'm going to be using Spidey, the node doesn't even matter. And I wasn't really worried about this fight either, to be honest. I mean, it's a Juggernaut. I figured if he goes unstoppable, I can just run away for the 3 seconds that he is unstoppable. And other than that, it's pretty much just a standard fight. There was really no strategy to it. I kind of just am messing around. Sometimes I'm hitting his block to build up ruptures. Sometimes I'm hitting him normal. Right there, I was blocking, and I tried to dash back out of a block, and I got tagged for it. So now he's unstoppable. I just run away. Try to pause the debuffs. I want him to run back. That's why I was kind of running away so much. I want him to run back and block so I can hit his block and build up some ruptures, but the AI didn't want to cooperate. And now it does, so I'm able to start doing that. And then he's going to go down here. Nice and easy. And now moving into section 3, this Dormammu on 48 was actually Sky's fight. He was supposed to be taking it with Quake, but I asked in the chat whose Dormammu I was about to steal, and he told me it was cool to steal it. But full disclosure, regardless of what he said. I was going to take this fight anyway, because, I mean, it's the last war of the season. It doesn't matter, so might as well have some fun with it. But the node itself has power efficiency on it, and then when I reach a bar of power, it would give him a vigilance buff. And then when that buff wears off, I would get faltered unless I knock him down with a special or heavy. So I just decided to ignore all of that, and I'm just going to kill him with ruptures. I'm not going to let myself get to a bar of power. I don't really have to worry about power efficiency because he's only going to throw a couple of specials in the fight, and I'm just going to let the rupture burst do all of the work for me. Right here, I'm trying to push him back over a bar of power threshold. And there it is. Get a nice rupture burst. And then he's going to go down with only 7 hits. Realistically, you could do this fight with 0 hits if you do it this way. But it was pretty fun to kind of mess around like that. And I actually think that it was probably the best strategy, because if I had to bait out constant specials from Dorm because of power efficiency, it probably would have been a really annoying fight. So next up, I have this mangog on 54, the fight that I always take. But this time I'm doing it without a power start 1, which was actually kind of cool, because I got an opportunity to see if it was actually easier, a little bit harder, like what the deal was, because now that compensation is gone, gray boosts are a lot harder to come by. So if I can save one for this fight, it would be pretty cool. So my strategy is to build to 5 exhaustions right off the bat rather than 3 like I normally would. And then once I reach that point, get to my special 2. So here I have my special 2, but I need to bait out a special from him first, and I drop it, and now I have 2 withers and 5 exhaustions, and now I'm completely reversing his power. So it turns out that it is just as easy without a power start 1. The gray boost is probably more for convenience and to shave like maybe 15 seconds off the fight, something like that. So I'm definitely going to save it going forward for this fight. And now at this point, I'm just stacking my ruptures because I have his power being reversed. So anytime he reaches 0 power, it bursts them. So as you hit him, it gives him a little bit, and then you just remove it, and so you deal a bunch of burst damage that way. And that's how I decided to take him down. And for my last fight of the season, I have a R4 Sassy boss. I put suicides on for this because I normally run them in the off season anyway, so that I can grind arena, and it's always nice when you can make that faster because it's such a soul-sucking process. However, I have to build up a little bit of a unit stash for next season, so it's something that had to be done anyway, and it only helps with this fight because Spidey takes 75% less damage on the boss node, so it's just free healing the whole time. Now, my strategy for this is just to get an exhaustion on him from a heavy right off the bat. Unfortunately, he was able to build 1 stack of rage before I could do that. And that means that once we reach the 30% mark or somewhere around there, he's actually going to be able to trigger his regen. But I do run 3 out of 3 to spare, so all the debuffs that I have on him are going to do a good job of managing that. And yeah, I just kind of had fun with this fight. It was low boosts. I did have science boosts on, just because of the mangog fight. I knew that I was going to use them for it to see how it went. Although I do think that that's a fight that I could probably leave them off for, because once I get my first special 2 and 5 exhaustions, his power's already in control anyway, so I don't really need other specials. But last war of the season, I figured I'd use them just for science purposes. And then this guy's going to go down. I'm going to use a lot of rupture damage to get the job done and just stick to special 2s. Don't have to worry about unstoppable armor anymore, so I don't need a special 3 in this fight anymore like I used to. And yeah, he's going to go down here. So I recorded this while I was at work because I didn't have time to get back on. I had kind of a busy day today, but they ended up finishing 150-1, and we ended up finishing 150-8. It mattered more to them, which is why I think they went hard, because there was a possibility if certain matchups went a certain way that they could have made top 3. Unfortunately for JA, that didn't work out for them, so they ended up landing in 4th place. But congrats to them on a great season. Congrats to GT40 on making War Champ for the 5th time in a row. And congrats to all the other alliances that made the Master Tier this season. And that is all she wrote. Thank you for watching.